Well, good morning everyone. Hope you are doing good and having a great week. To all my returning subscribers, thank you for your support. And to all our viewers and those recently subscribed, thank you and welcome to this channel. So today we'll be talking about some vintage silvers. Up on your screen you can see my guardhouse box, which contains some of my 1-ounce vintage silver bars that I've been collecting for the last 2 years. And specifically for this video, we'll be talking about silver bars with locomotive designs on them, in particular bars from the Mount Everest Mint. But before we move on to that topic, I'd just like to talk a little bit more about this bar over here, which is from the Everest Mint. It also has a locomotive design on it. This is the General. And I wanted to update this one because I recently picked up the second silver bar, the General as well. It's exactly the same bar with the same reverse. So now I have 2 of these bars from the Medicine Mint featuring the General Locomotive. The new silver bar is a little bit more toned, having been sold to me in this commercial plastic flip. So let me just go ahead and get this out from the flip and place this into a capsule. So both these bars are now well protected and will be going into the guardhouse box. With the Medicine Mint bars all settled, let's move ahead now with the bars from the Mount Everest Mint. But before I get into this, I'd just like to put it out there that I do have a crowdfunding page on Buy Me a Coffee, the link of which you can find in the description text of my YouTube homepage. So go ahead and click on that, go and have a look. And I would appreciate any support that you guys can give, as this channel here is not monetized. Okay, with that all done, let's go ahead and take a look at some locomotives. So just a quick backstory before I continue on with the review. I picked up all these Mount Everest Mint silver bars from a coin store in the Diamond District in New York City a while back. The first time that I visited the store, I picked up just one of this bar. This is the General, and I've already done a video on this bar, and if you'd like to watch that video, I'll leave the link to that video at the end of this video. When I went back to the store a few months later, I did pick up another 4 of these bars. They are all from the same series and they are all from the Mount Everest Mint. Now the Mount Everest Mint is a relatively unknown private mint that's located in Willow Grove in Pennsylvania. The mint was operating for just 3 years from 1973 to 1976. But during that period, it did produce a number of silver bars design. Among these is a series of 10 proof art bar designs which feature locomotives. The collection was issued out by the Mount Everest Mint in 1974 and is known as the Great Locomotive Series One. In it, you'll find 10 silver bars with designs of locomotive, which has great historical significance. All the bars are struck in 3/9 fine silver and finished in proof. They have a weight of 31.9 grams, a length of 48 millimeters, a width of 29 millimeters, and a thickness of approximately 2.5 millimeters with a smooth edge. There are no mintage numbers available for the collection on the internet, but from my first video, a popular content creator, Silver Oceans, did commented that the mintage numbers for these bars, for each of these bars, is just 5,000. For this first bar that I'm showcasing, we have the General, which was introduced into service in 1855. And right on the reverse of the bar, we can see the name of the silver bar, and below we have the words, perhaps the most famous locomotive in American history, 1855, the Western and Atlantic Railroad. And just below that we have the composition of the metal, 1 troy ounce 3/9 fine silver, proof, copyrighted 1974. And over here we have the logo for the Mount Everest Mint, which is a stylized MEM. The second silver bar that I have here is the Stourbridge line, introduced into service in 1829. Really a very beautiful silver art bar. And on the reverse, we have the words, the first actual locomotive to run in America, 1829, the Delaware and Hudson Canal Company. And again, we have the composition and the logo of the mint right below. And for all the bars that I'm showing you, I've already added these bars and their specifications into Numista. So if you'd like to learn more about them, I'll leave the links to those pages in the description text below. The third silver bar is the Black Hawk, introduced into service in 1835. Again, a really beautiful finish on the bar. You can see the cameo effect. And here's a look at the reverse. And on the reverse, it reads here, the first articulated locomotive, 1835, Philadelphia and Trenton Railroad. The fourth bar that I have in my collection is the Camel, introduced into service in 1848 for this locomotive. Again, really beautifully struck. And here on the reverse, it reads, one of the most distinctive classes of locomotive ever to be designed, 1848. And here's the final silver bar for my collection, and the title is really a mouthful, but it reads over here, The Best Friend of Charleston, and this locomotive being introduced into service in 1831. Looks like a really small locomotive. And here on the back it reads, first locomotive in America to pull a train, 1831, Charleston and Hamburg Railroad. The coin store where I purchased these silver bars had the entire collection available. Again, these silver bars came from a collection of 10. Unfortunately, at that time that I visited, I didn't have enough money for the entire collection, although he did want a fair price for them. But the other 5 silver bars that I'm missing, I do have the pictures of those bars, and I'll put them up on your screen right now. The bars that I'm missing are the Tom Tom, the Experiment, the South Carolina, the Thomas Rogers, and the bar with the name number 825. And here again is the picture of how all 10 bars is going to look like in the 1974 collection known as the Great Locomotive Series or Series 1. And with that, I guess that will do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, don't forget to leave me a like if you have enjoyed this content, and be sure to hit that share and subscribe buttons down here if you have not done so. As always, from everybody over here, you all please take care, be safe, and have a nice day.
Mm-hmm.